Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. So yesterday I reacted to LSK's addressing kind of like the too hype drama going on right now and stuff like that, man. And since I have deleted that video, that's just because going into that, I was not like fully knowledgeable of the entire situation. So I don't know, I just felt kind of like wrong, just like react to like one side of the story. But what we have today is Flight Mike, who I think does a fantastic job as far as like covering like news and just kind of like giving all the facts and stuff like that, right, man? Basically, he put together a compilation here of everything that has kind of happened up to this point of the making of this video right here, man. So I feel like it's probably the best route to go. It's just kind of like all sides, everything going on, what's leading up to what, and kind of making our opinions based off that, right, man? So, yeah, we're gonna check this out here, and yeah, I know like since I did that other reaction video, like I said, which I did delete, there was like a Caesar and resist that was sent over to Mopey, which means he can't like say stuff, I guess. It's like the legality terms right there or something like that. So yeah, this is gonna be a little interesting, man, just because like I don't know like how much more we're gonna hear about this when it comes to like lawyers and all of that, man. So it's gonna be interesting. So here we go. Flight Mike, thanks for putting this together. Link to his channel description below. Or at least I guess it's a different channel. This is Flight Mike TV. So yeah, okay.
Before we get into the video, I just want to talk to y'all because of everything that's been happening. Obviously, Tyler hasn't been around the last couple months, really.
And I guess I was wrong for keeping silent to y'all.
So we're not gonna mention the one person that this is about. So the reason anyone who's even talking about this is because Mopey tweeted L-Hype. So you mean to tell me you have a 45-minute video, you have nothing to say?
In order to understand this video, you need to know who I am. My name is Mike Maradian, aka The Flight Mike. I've been involved in the NBA 2K community at some capacity for about a decade, starting in NBA 2K10 and continuing on to this year. I have collaborated with
against The Flight Mike.
That a football jersey?
We're playing The Flight Mike.
What?
See, this is all extremely important stuff because he's literally showing like everybody he collided with. So, you know, I mean, he's not gonna like bias towards like one side. He's not gonna be like, well, this person treated me this way, so like I'm gonna say this about this person. Like it sounds like it was a situation where it's like he's worked with all these guys at one point, and yeah, I mean that's a good thing, right? It's like he's open to all sides.
What is he wearing?
While I do have a really good relationship with each and every person involved in this type of situation, I can't help but see specific things that are occurring right in front of my eyes. And as a grown-ass 27-year-old man that has been making YouTube videos for about a decade, that understands how the YouTube algorithm works, I figured I could do a little bit of a deep dive into what you guys could trust and what you guys can't trust, and what seems legitimate and what doesn't seem as legitimate to me, because there are specific people that will look at specific things that these individuals are saying and say you're full of it, and then there's specific people that probably are too young to understand what's going on. And
I feel like that's kind of like a big issue is kind of like the younger crowd, because like, you know, if you're, because there's obviously gonna be like plenty of, I know there's plenty of like kids that watch my content and stuff, so I try to keep it, you know, friendly and stuff, man. Bitch ass. I'm sorry. No, I try to keep it friendly, man. I try. I mean, come on, y'all probably heard worse on the school bus, right? But no, like straight up, like that is kind of like an issue is, you know, a lot of the mental stuff that comes from this, because obviously all these guys are probably to some extent going through like some mental stuff where it's just like, you know, when you're getting that much hate from people, it's really going to affect you, right? But then you see it's like little 8-year-old Timothy, you know, telling you to go and, you know, do bad things to yourself or whatever, right? So, a lot of this, you know, I do feel like there's obviously older people, mature people, more developed people that like know like what's going on. It's like, okay, I can kind of see the story of this. And then you also have the other half where it's like the straight up like fanboys out there that's going to be behind their side no matter who it is. And I feel like that's a big issue. You know, it's like you almost got to like ignore what everybody else is saying, watch what's in front of you, and make your own opinion based off that, you know? So
will just blindly side with those individuals that they like. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here. This is my very first news type of video on my Flight Mike TV channel, and since I've been part of the 2K community on and off for about a decade, I figured, well, I'd cover a beef that it seems like every small channel is talking about.
It's a big one.
But since I've made videos with, I don't know, Chris London, TD Presents.
I would say this is probably the biggest beef since the LNU stuff. Well, that was at like 2016. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is probably actually has potential to be bigger once everything comes out. But yeah, the LNU stuff. I mean, once again, that was like a whole like the reason that was so big because it was also guys like Too Hype that were calling out LNU, which based off my experience and what I saw was definitely warranted. But yeah.
Jester the Laser,
That's just my
Cash
opinion,
Nasty
from what I saw.
Gaming, and I've seen beefs like this before. Well, I figured I will talk about it a little bit because it gets to a point where I just feel like it's worth mentioning. And to the individual that's watching this video thinking that it's a guy that has only 24,000 subscribers who is just trying to grow a small channel, well, if you could see at my social blade for my main channel and my second channel, I don't necessarily need that. As a matter of fact, if you compare it to LSK's, we're doing very well. God bless you guys. The main reason I'm making this video is I don't like seeing audiences manipulated. I built my brand off of the truth and discussing the truth. I also was bullied as a little kid, and after watching multiple individuals, some which I know to some degree get bullied and mistreated, well, I just couldn't help.
I will say that is kind of one thing that does kind of rub me the wrong way, and I don't watch every single like Too Hype video. I mean, I don't really watch every single video for any really YouTuber. So William Tennyson, I think his name is. I don't know. I like his videos a lot. He's been like my favorite YouTuber as of late. But yeah, I don't know how far like the extent of like the bowling went for Mopey. If that was like a hey, like they are legitimately bowling Mopey, or is it more so like hey, like, this is just, like, friends fooling around? Because there definitely is a difference between that, right? But I will say, over time, I've been a victim of it myself, and I'm sure there's been friends in my past that I probably bullied too, coming off as a joke, but over time, it just kind of erupts, and it's like, hey, I've had enough of this. Like, there's only so much you can really take, right? So, I don't know if it was, like, a situation of that, or if that has nothing to even do with it, if it's just something totally different.
But point out some facts to you guys, and I'm gonna let you guys come up with your own decision yourselves. First of all, I think it's important that you completely separate Cash Nasty from this situation. At least in my experience, I haven't had a conversation with the man in almost 2 years. I reached out to him about some YouTube problem I was having in terms of someone giving me a copyright strike. He reached out on behalf of me to help me. So I'm just trying to make a testament to the man's character, try to leave him out of this. There's specific things you need to know about these individuals before we get started. First, Jester the Laser and LSK both came into the NBA 2K community during a similar period of time. Jester was already fairly established on NBA 2K.
I actually remember when Jester came into the community because I used to run a hub channel almost, not that type of hub, with Sub the Gamer. It was called, damn, I don't remember the name of it, man. I don't even remember the name of it. But basically what the channel was is that we took submissions from like small YouTubers. I mean, I was small myself. Sub the Gamer was large at the time. I was doing it for Sub the Gamer as a way to kind of like help him out, but also, you know, man, like get like my name out there a little bit. But basically it was like smaller YouTubers would send like their video submissions, and then you would post it on this channel with the extent of, you know, trying to grow the channel, but also getting exposure for these smaller content creators. And at the time, Jester had like, I don't know, a few thousand subscribers. And he posted one video on there that, you know, we took as a submission, and it got like 10,000 views. And I was like, damn, like this kid right here is talented as hell, bro. And I mean, the rest is history, right? So
by emulating the exact same formula that KSI and the Sidemen emulated for FIFA content onto NBA 2K, which resulted in great success for him. At the same time, Chris London is a player that had some issues playing basketball throughout his entire career and his entire life due to mainly injury concerns. Regardless, he was able to create a very successful brand for himself based off of vlogs, and since he's always been good at basketball, I guess he felt the need to branch out into basketball gaming. The first thing you need to know about this
entire... I feel like that's a great story. It's like, you know, basketball is probably such a big part of his life growing up, and there was a way that he could still make it part of his life despite not being able to do it the traditional way. Like, I think that's awesome.
Our situation is LSK's first NBA 2K video was a diss track, and the reason why this is important is, well, LSK has always been very successful at leveraging drama to grow his brand. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. Some people know how to navigate drama really well.
A lot of views with it.
Not so much. And throughout the entire scenario, you will see that there were opportunities
Like a
that these
Keemstar.
individuals would have had to stick up for friends of theirs, but they decided to turn their back on them just for the sake of making sure that their name stays clear. Now, it's important to know that 2Hype also was officially established circa 2015/2016, and the concept was very simple. Jester the Laser had a lot of subscribers, Chris London was a well-known face and brand, Cash Nasty Gaming was the top NBA 2K streamer at the time, Zach TTG is a likable guy.
Them damn Cash streams back in the day with him and Ash, oh man. I was there every single night. I loved those. Those were the days right there, man. I would sit back, you know, with a bottle of children-friendly Kool-Aid, and yeah, man, it was just so much fun. Those were the days.
And hey, let's get a bunch of our buddies together and make some videos. Well, what started as a very innocent basketball supergroup turned into a fairly toxic culture. You see, after Lost and Unbound's whole sweatshop dilemma came out, which I guess we could make a video on that as well. I'm personally very close with the individual.
I would actually like to hear Flight Mike's take on it. Just because, yeah, I mean, I do know that, like, as far as, like, I know, like, Flight's, well, I know both Flights are pretty close with them, so it would be nice to hear the perspective. It would actually be awesome if you could even give him, like, an interview and just kind of, like, talk about, like, 4 years later and stuff. Like, that'd be awesome to see. But, no, like I said, I mean, obviously not the video to really talk about it, but I had my own hiccups in the past, but I'm over it.
After that piece of information came out where Lost and Unbound was accused of mistreating his editors, you saw two best friends, Jester the Laser and Lost and Unbound, cease to befriend one another anymore. I guess mainly because they felt like LNU's image was destroyed. This laid the framework for the more astute individual as to how Jesse likes to handle his online YouTube relationships with individuals who he sees are trending downward. Not
Good
to
point.
say that Greg was trending downward, because he still did upload videos successfully for a period of time, but essentially you saw a man that was trending downward due to a bad PR situation, and everyone that he was associated with pretty much turned their back on him.
Yeah, and with that, it's like even to the point where I feel like with LNU, I know he hasn't uploaded in a long time, but like he continued making videos and he still had like a very successful, you know, YouTube career and stuff like that. But it's like that stuff he probably still could have done by himself, but like if he would have like continued to like be part with 2Hype, it's like I feel like that would have been able to like expand him even more.
And while
he'd probably be
you
sitting
would
there like
see
3 million
that
subscribers
trend
now, you
be
know?
followed multiple times over and over again. You see Malcolm, Cash Nasty's best friend, would join, TD Present would join, and eventually Los Pollos TV would join.
Sure.
Now, each of these individuals brought something different to the table. Malcolm was Cash Nasty's best friend, and the logic there was, hey, Jidel is Jester's brother. Let me bring in my friend so we could help him be successful as well. The intentions in the very beginning, as you guys could tell, were very pure. TD Presents was mainly a football YouTuber that provides us a brand new avenue as well. But even then, TD wanted to bring in his friend Walker, which resulted in some problems as well, which is TD's story to tell and not so much mine.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened with the Walker situation, if I'm being 100% honest. I do know as far as like Malcolm goes, because we all know like he's still cool with Cash and stuff. I think with him, like I said, I can't speak on the man's like goals and stuff like that and stuff. I just don't know if he was like he probably like liked making content, but maybe it just wasn't like what his dream was, you know what I'm saying? So
because I really don't know much about that situation. The biggest issue was probably the situation between Luis, aka Los Pollos TV on Twitch, and Chris London, because you see, Los was really good friends with Zach TTG, who was originally a Twitch streamer primarily and then became a YouTuber secondarily.
yeah, I remember that.
LSK and Jesser, they all collaborated frequently and they were all a tight-knit group. But the issue was when Los wanted to move to LA and the fact that he wanted to focus more on streaming as opposed to making YouTube videos. You see, according to Los, he prioritized his live streaming career before creating content with the rest of the 2Hype crew. The 2Hype crew wanted to just make YouTube videos first, but when Los was in his room live streaming as opposed to coming out to make videos with them, they perceived Los as lazy.
Told you.
Right, and definitely like, I mean, in hindsight, like lazy is definitely not the right word to use, right? I mean, I just think it's just different goals. And let's be honest, like what we are seeing here is like, okay, because obviously these are all just individual humans and stuff like that, but they are also each their own individual brand coming together to like form like this big, huge like corporation. So when you have like your goals and when you have like your mission statement, like what you want to accomplish over the next 5-10 years, I mean, for Los, it was he wanted to do like streaming, and everybody else is like, okay, we're focused on making like YouTube videos and stuff, which is cool. And I feel like I feel like it could have just ended like that, like that. Like there should not have been any additional drama with those two different parties where it's like Los can be like, okay, I want to do streaming, and they would be like, okay, we're cool with that, and have it be with that. And I feel like that's just like a business thing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's really should have been a big deal, but obviously, when that starts happening, I'm sure like hurtful things and just miscommunication start happening and kind of led to the situation we're at.
And we made it clear, I've made it clear that, dude, we want to be a YouTube group. We want to make YouTube videos. If
there's a group channel that has one video a week, you don't think I could have done one video a week? This is about money. This is about managers not fucking with me. This is about managers not liking my content because I curse and I'm not a little fucking puppet fucking weirdo. This is what this is about.
Okay, I mean, see, it's like, because like I don't have like a stake in either one of these sides. Like I'm hearing what he's saying with that, but at the same time, I also understand like two obvious perspectives. Where it's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a legitimate reason. I really think so. It's like, I mean, I know like I swear in some of my videos, and I'm sure for me, it's probably kept me from having like certain brand deals and working with certain content creators and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I don't know, like from two, maybe what Lobes is mad about is that maybe like LSK's not specifically saying that. It maybe he's like beating around the bush with it, but at the same time, I do give that being like an issue. I don't know. I don't know
why you won't admit it. Maybe because you
so it's the admitting.
Don't want people to really know what you're about. But that's what this is all about. This is all about just not wanting people to know what you're really about.
And I wouldn't really be even afraid to even like admit that. Like if like I don't know, I feel like that's honest to say like hey, like we are trying to be more aimed towards like I hate to use the word family friendly. Like I said, all these damn kids have been hearing more, we're stuff on the school bus and stuff. But I feel like that's a legitimate reason. Like, hey, we trying to be more McDonald's, less Hooters. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm sorry.
And it's money over friendships. A bigger piece of the pie over friendships.
Apparently, Los Pollos TV was kicked because, well, I kind of buy what he's saying, because he probably wasn't marketable enough to be part of the group, which is kind of on brand for someone that curses in streams, which makes a lot of sense from a business perspective.
I agree.
But obviously, if you're going to kick a friend out of the group, well, that guy's not going to really be your friend anymore. If you go on the internet and say it's because he's lazy, well, chances are that individual isn't going to like you as much.
Yep, and that's the whole thing. Like we said earlier, like lazy was probably it was the word. It was not a good way to put it. It's just like it should have been like, hey, our futures and like our just like goals and stuff, like what we're trying to be, what you are, just don't really align. And sure, if that ends the friendship, I mean, once again, I said it in my other reaction video, like, hey, don't mix friends with business, because this is the type of stuff that happens.
What I'm trying to say here is both sides make sense.
Hype
wanted to make more money, and in order to get there, they had to kick out a friend of theirs that just didn't fit the group's image. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't necessarily know why TD Presents was kicked, and it seems like he's about to make a very big video on the reason why he was kicked. The main reason I made this video is, well, I saw several tweets on Twitter that I just wanted to dispel for you guys because, well, there's specific...
Yeah, I don't really know why TD was kicked either. If you guys have any insight, let me know in the comment section below. This after seeing like LSK's story, which has now since been removed. It was talking about just like they just weren't like vibing and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna say like what LSK said that he caught TD doing or something like that, just because, like I said, man, like, I mean the video's deleted, so I don't know if that was the reason or if there was stretched truth. I don't really know, so I don't want to like put rumors out there myself. So yeah.
Specific things I could tell you is a blatant lie.
I'm gonna guess they just did not get
based off
along.
Of my experiences as a successful YouTuber. Look at these tweets from Jidel. I'm not in the business of talking bad about people, never have, never will, but obviously anytime someone says something that they don't typically do. They're probably going to break what they do. But there's things I'm hearing about me and the people I care most about that are completely untrue. Now, you have to also understand, this is Jesser's brother, so yeah, I think he might have a slight bias here. Old house.
maybe
I
a little.
never spent my day laying in bed. I edited all of my videos up until January of 2019, and even then was still editing some. To say we didn't put in effort is disingenuous. I got myself sick from stress editing and posting 29 out of the 30 days of June of 18. Now, look, is this the truth? It could be. Is it most possibly and most probably a lie? Yeah. When you're in a YouTube group with, I don't know, multiple other successful YouTubers, you have millions of subs, chances are you're not bothering yourself with editing very, with all due respect, very generic rebuild videos. You just aren't. You probably found some dude on the internet to edit all.
As somebody that does rebuilds, I will say the way I edit, damn, cut, split. Like, my shit don't take long to edit, which is probably why my rebuilds have kind of died on my main channel. But I've actually tried going out myself and, like, hiring editors. And I kid you not, man, the more time and money I spend for an editor, or the more time I spend editing a video myself, the worse it usually does. It makes no damn sense to me. That's why I stopped doing it. But yeah, I know the way, Jidel, because like I said, I don't really watch a lot of like other rebuilds and stuff like that, because like after doing it yourself all day for damn the past 5 years, it's like I don't really want to sit down and like watch it myself. I don't find it entertaining anymore. But the way he edited it, like, you know, he had like a split cam, which, you know, some zoomed in faces, some different effects, something that would probably take him a few hours a day to edit. Now I will say, like, the way he edited, it's like there definitely is a chance that somebody else could have edited his videos and that would have been fine. But also I do see it realistic where it's like he could have spent a long time each day editing those, because it was nothing like extremely complicated stuff. I think, like Flight said here, it's just more like generic, tedious, boring editing, which over time can kind of weigh on you. So I could see it really either way. It's like maybe he did have an editor. I know if I was him in his circumstance, and if I had that much of a following, that much money, the reason I don't have an editor is I can't really afford it. So yeah.
All that stuff for you. Toss him, hopefully, at the very minimum, 2 bills to do so, because it's very grueling work. Then you're going to spend the rest of your time doing other stuff, which is probably what you did. Which, is this a lie? Possibly, but I have nothing to back up my claim. I'm just saying what a smart YouTuber with millions of subs that's influenced by other YouTubers with millions of subs would probably do.
Yep, could be either way. He very well could have done the editing, but at the same time, he could have hired somebody. It's like, you know.
Next thing he says is also pretty absurd. Splitting 2Hype into smaller divisions for better brand deal payouts never was discussed and never even thought of. Group payments are larger with more members involved, as is reach of a group. This doesn't even make sense from a logical standpoint. So what Jidel's trying to tell you is, hey, if you're a YouTuber with a bunch of followers and you're combining with other YouTubers with a ton of followers, you're going to get paid more money as a group. That's not how this works.
Okay.
You see,
let's hear it.
if you told someone that's not in this business that exact thing, chances are they'll believe you.
Sure.
But the reality of the situation is brands have budgets, and they're not going to bring in a group of people that have the exact same type of fans, the exact same followers, interested in the exact same things, in and pay them more because their reach is bigger. Mainly,
I agree with what he's saying right there. You know, like, I'm gonna guess, like, for example, I'm keeping it to like the Miley community just because that's what I'm kind of more like well known in. Like, if me, Six, and Kenny started like a group, then it's like, yeah, I mean, there might be like some potential. Like, there would be more potential for me to grow as opposed to like Kenny, because I'm guaranteeing anybody that watches my videos watches like Kenny or Six Rings, because, you know, like, I'm not afraid to say like they are both better at like rebuilds and stuff like that, and like better in that type of content than I am. But it's like, so I would have like. But I feel like the people that are subscribed to them probably have also seen my videos, and they just didn't like me as much. That's why they didn't really subscribe, right? So it's like from a brand standpoint, outside of like those three, it's like there's not like much more to like gain by us starting like a group either. You know, because I'm sure like everybody like likes those type of videos. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, there'd be some sort of like gain, because I'm sure not everybody has like seen each other's videos and stuff like that, man. But I get what he's saying. So it's like it's if it's too much of like similar content, chances are over time everybody who has seen somebody's video has seen it already and decided they were going to subscribe or not.
because that audience isn't diverse enough to do so. So as a result, the smaller 2Hype is, the more pie each and every member of 2Hype gets. He then goes on to say we're all solely driven by money. My CPM on rebuild videos exceeded over $12 at times. I've never reached that number or close since. I gave that up for rates half of that because the content made me happier.
Wow.
The biggest brand deal I've ever been offered, I turned down. You know what's a huge tendency in someone that's lying? They'll try to say whatever it takes to make sure that
my own personal CPM, I would say, is as somebody that does rebuilds, like I said, I don't want to say only because it's a lot, but I think it's a lot. 250,000 subscribers. Like, I would say my CPM for like rebuilds is usually around like $8 to $10, where like December it can kind of go to like 12 to 13. And that's just as a channel my size. So I don't know, like, as you grow, do you get more CPM? I don't really know.
they appease and appeal to whoever is reading the tweet. So if you read the beginning part of the tweet, his beginning point is we're all solely driven by money. But his final sentence is the biggest brand I've ever been offered I turned down. So are you solely driven by money, or are you money hungry? Because look, if you're a businessman, there's nothing wrong with being money hungry. God knows how many ads I'm going to put on this video. And like the whole reason I'm making a video about this is because it's 2Hype. They're probably going to get a lot of clicks. I'm going to make a lot of money. Nothing wrong with admitting that.
Just like Cash says, gotta pay them bills, man. I love that Cash says that, because you know what's true. Like when it comes to like YouTube and stuff like that, I don't know, for like a long time people had to be like so like sneaky, like we can't really talk about like money and stuff like that. It's just I don't really want to talk about it. I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, man. YouTubers for the most part make more money than they probably should. I mean, there is things with it, and as far as like getting to the level like making money, it does take a lot of hard work and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's probably like, I don't know. Like every YouTuber wants to make money. It like right now, if YouTube is like, okay, we're done, like we're just done paying YouTubers, like ads are no longer a thing, we're going out of business, I guarantee you, man, like 95% of YouTubers would probably quit, and you would have some that would just like upload like every once in a while, stuff like that. So yeah, man, I mean, YouTubers, like a lot of us, just because you do something for money doesn't mean you're only doing it for money,
But over here, if you're not trying to convey that you're money hungry, and you're also trying to convey that, hey, I turned down my biggest brand deal, you're pretty much just trying to convey, hey, I'm money hungry, and hey, I'm not greedy at all. You're pretty much just trying to get people to like you, and this tweet kind of does the opposite here. Take it from me, take it from a guy that makes videos that are literally a third of the length of Jaidel's. He is lying. There is no way, shape, or form that this dude gets $6 CPMs. I am sorry, this drives me insane. If you don't know what a CPM is, it's the amount of money you get paid per 1,000 views on a YouTube video. Typically, the longer your video is, and the better job you do at retaining the viewer, the higher your CPM will be. And by the way, in the middle of December,
yeah, I can also attune to that. I said like some days when I do like a rebuild, like my rebuilds don't really get a lot of views anymore, but I can do like a video that will get like 20,000 views, and it will have like a 3-minute duration. But like I will make less doing that as opposed to doing like a rebuild that has 10,000 views, but like somebody might sit there and watch for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, man. I'm just trying to be like, transparent, because like I said, man, like you and I watch this, grown ass men and women. If you're a woman, welcome to the channel. It's nice having diversity and stuff. So yeah.
Like December 13th, 14th, and 15th-ish, that's when your CPM is at its highest. So bear in mind, that's when this drama all started. I don't mean any disrespect to Jaidel, but I don't think he does any of the business for himself. I don't even think he understands how it works. I feel like he has other people doing it for him, and more props to him. If I was in his position, I'd probably be doing the same too. These tweets don't make any sense at all whatsoever, and I don't mean to roast the man here, because I'm sure he's a cool guy, but these...
ain't nobody gonna get sensitive over it. At least you shouldn't. Like, it's, this is just Flight Mike's take on it, so, I mean, I think that's fine. I didn't feel like he was, like, disrespecting me, just kind of giving his thoughts on it.
Tweets are just blatant lies, or just are illogical from the standpoint of a YouTuber. To give you an idea, I just started doing, like, 35-minute career simulations, and my CPM just got to $12. If anything, it's supposed to get higher than that.
I'm gonna bring some damn career simulations to my main channel.
My first week, by the way. It takes about a few months for YouTube to fully give you the CPM you deserve and give you that high, juicy CPM. My assumption is Jidel makes a CPM of about $18 to $20, which
Sign me up.
I don't think is bad. If anything, it's great. And this is the official phone call that features LSK and TTG discussing how they're going to move on past TD.
When I heard this, it was at that point where I decided to delete the other video. Because like I said, there's stuff coming out that I didn't really know about. So, like I said, I mean, as far as like this being truthful or edited, like I said, there's a ways to like change audio up and stuff like that. But I haven't really heard anybody saying like that was like a thing. So I don't know what to really make of this, man.
And I'm going to let you decide how you want to interpret it yourself. And I want to give a shout out to Lyrics because, you know, I grabbed it from him.
Sure.
Tight schedule that we're going to start doing now that we've moved out, we're getting settled in. Like, things are going to move really quick and, like, at a large scale. And, like, we didn't want to just put it, like, the group channel out and stuff and, like, not have you, like, aware. And then also, like, given that we see, like, we're kind of, like, foreshadowing, like looking forward to where this movement's going to go, and like we didn't see like you being like a part of it. We also just wanted to like come to you. Like, we'd hope that you could build like your own narrative as to how like we're not like together. And like, you know, we wanted you to like let us know like how you wanted to go about that. Like, are you like, do you plan on? Because we didn't want to like publicly say this and everything. I think like we told Los, like you guys can like build your narrative, you know, like
yeah, we want to like we want it to be like you are like stepping away from Too Hype and going your own way because you want to focus on yourself and like you feel like it would be easier to do it, you know, that way. We also don't want to just come out and say like, yeah, we kicked TD out and like have like some sort of negative connotation towards you, or have the fans have some negative connotation towards you, because we don't want to affect you on that.
That's rough. Okay, so, oh man, I mean, that's hard to like, ugh. I mean, when you hear it like that, it definitely does come off as sketchy. Like, I ain't gonna try to defend that. At the same time, like I said, man, I'm trying to look at both sides of things. I also see it where it's like, but where it's like, okay, it's almost like a case like trying to like protect our own asses, but also trying to say like we're protecting your ass too. But at the same time, it's like, how do you think? Let me know in the comments. How do you think you would have reacted if they would have came out and said, "Hey, TD, like TD and Too Hype's visions don't align, and we're going our separate ways." Like, do you feel like you would have been negative, or do you feel like you'd have been like, "Okay, like we understand that"? I mean, obviously there would have been people that would have been mad about it and stuff. But at the same time, I do. But it does come off as sketchy. It's just like, because you see that in like the movies and stuff, man, within like corporations where it's like, you know, so and so was doing this bad thing, so it's like, well, it's like we want to protect you, so you know you can tell people that like you quit, but which always comes off as like a bad thing. So, I guess maybe if they forecasted that TD was going to get hate for being kicked out, or they would have got hate, then it's like, yeah, you can kind of just like tell people but that straight up is just lying. So, But then I still think we need to know like the reason that, because that's what's gonna damn like blow the lid off, is like, what is the reason that TD left or was kicked out? You know, like that's gonna be the whole thing. Because if it is like I said, I mean, I'm only saying this because I don't want to like. Okay, like if it turns out that TD did do something bad, because I'm not saying he did, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like if it turns out that TD did do something bad, then you can look at this audio and be like, okay, it was kind of like them still looking out for TD, being like, hey, like we, but then again, also with like Los though, it's like it was kind of the same thing for like both of them, and it doesn't sound like Los has done anything bad, just with the exception of, once again, the brands didn't align. So if that's the case, they should have just said that. Okay.
And like Cash was saying, like it's not like, and Chris was saying, it's not like we still can't make videos. Like it's not like you can't come over, or like can't play games together. You can't text us whenever you need something. Like we're still boys. Yeah.
As much as I know,
yeah, that would definitely rub me the wrong way. Like, hey, you're out of the group. Our visions don't align and stuff. But it's like, hey, we're so cool. It's like, I mean, at that point, the business overtook the friendship, which is why you should never mix both in the first place. But at the same time, I get why people do.
people are going to probably take this leaked call and run with it. I feel like TTG and Chris are being really nice here. You know, he doesn't want to come out and say, hey, we're kicking you out of the group. We're moving on from you. We don't like your content. We don't want to work with you guys.
Sure.
I think what they're saying here is extremely noble and very professional. They're saying that they're stepping away from the group, but what's really happening is they are, I guess, being kicked from the group, but just to make them not look as bad, they're letting them step away to say that they're focusing on their careers.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like to make them like look as bad, and I think that's the issue. Is like what Los and TD, whatever the reason was, like they're like, well, we didn't do anything bad. We were just kicked out. So it's like, why are you trying to protect us when we didn't even do anything wrong? And that's when it kind of comes down to is like ungenuine. Where it's like, oh, well, maybe it was more about like protecting themselves.
And I feel like that just makes everyone look better as opposed to creating some BS drama.
Sure,
But
I do agree with that.
Here's the thing, and here's where I have a huge problem with what's going on. This narrative is okay. TD is stepping away. Los is trying to focus on streaming. Is it the truth as to what's happening? No. But you can't always give your audience the truth in these situations. And in defense of Zach and Chris, if you look at what happened with Cash and Malcolm, they're still boys.
Right.
Cash reacts with Malcolm on his channel on a consistent basis. He's doing whatever it takes to give his boy a career. They had a healthy breakup. Yeah, they're best friends. They're really close. But you shouldn't do business with your friends because this is what typically ends up happening. Nevertheless, Cash made it right with Malcolm. He still appears in his videos.
Yeah, and once again, I do take that situation a little bit lightly, more lightly than with in this one, because like, so from what I've read, like I don't think Malcolm's big thing was like being a YouTuber anyway, as opposed to like Los and TD, where it's like they would have been probably more better off if they would have been able to like stay with 2Hype, because it would have been, they could have still done their own thing, but at the same time they still would have got more of a following from being with the 2Hype group.
And he still throws him over, so props to him. So what Zach and Chris were offering TD and Los was still something that wasn't that bad of an offer. Yeah, we're not officially part of 2Hype, but we're gonna appear in your videos, we'll do collaborations, you have a lifelong connect in us. What's going on with Mopey is downright disgusting, and the way Jesse and Chris are coming off when it comes to trying to save their face not only looks bad, but it looks unhealthy and very desperate. If you saw Chris's face in this entire like 45-minute video, which he has since deleted, not only does he seem very rambly, but he is just completely out of context, isn't constructing proper narratives, trying to do whatever it takes to pander to his audience, and just...
Yeah, there is a lot at stake in this situation. I mean, I'm sure it's stressful as hell. And I still think that, you know, both sides, no one side's completely perfect. I feel like both sides probably could have handled things a lot differently, but yeah.
Probably the thing that bugs me the most, looks downright depressed and miserable. And a part of me feels extremely empathetic because I never want to see anyone go through something like that, no matter what they're going through. Especially someone who I've had mainly positive experiences with. But this video by Jesse that is claiming that Mopey is losing his mind to save...
Yeah, that... I don't really think... I mean, obviously Jester's taking a lot of hate right now, so, you know, he probably wants to get some of that hate away from him and, like, explain things, but when you bring somebody else's, like, mental health into a situation, I don't really think that's right. Like, I feel like that should come from Mopey or, you know, it's not, you know, in that type of case. I don't know if that was, like, the place, like, the audience to say that, so.
Save his own face and then sending a cease and desist letter to Mopey just to make sure 2Hype's name isn't slandered.
That comes off bad.
Is just downright horrible in my opinion. And I'll link you to the video because, you know, I don't want this video to get struck down potentially, and it's the video on Jesse's channel, but it just seems wrong and manipulative to try to defame a character like that, especially someone that you consider to be a very close friend of yours.
I agree with that.
Uploading on social media, he's been going through a lot mentally, been fighting some serious demons. I'm not going to go too in-depth on that as his personal thing, but Tyler, I'm worried about you, dude.
But even mentioning that it was personal and saying that, you know, an audience of 3 million people, you know.
Like I said, I would take this whole thing offline.
Because that's gonna be let that, because like when you say something like somebody's going through some mental stuff and you say you don't want to talk about it because it's personal, but then you bring up the mental stuff, that's going to lead people to make their own, you know, conclusions, and that can be a dangerous path.
To your mom, expressing my worries. I talked to your brother for an hour, bro. He's really worried about you. Like you've been hiding things from him. Tyler, I want you, like I tried.
I got like 5 of these for Christmas.
He's just call me back. You don't
New Slinky.
respond to me or the guys. Like, we want to help you. I'm not gonna go in depth. It's very personal, all of this stuff. Like, Tyler, I literally saw you the other day after this happened. I told you I loved you, bro. You hugged me, and then you don't respond to me.
That's, you know, what's cringe Los to me. You can look as cool as you want online, but please just,
Thank you.
Just stop.
Thank you. You like my haircut?
Stop, because, fam,
You like my haircut?
completely aware and.
I mean, the way Los kind of handled it, he got nothing to lose. He's like, I'm already out of the group and stuff like that, and he's like, I'm not gonna like, you know, have people hate on me and stuff like that. So I don't know.
You were so close to being a part of it. So like, how am I supposed to know, bro? Like, dude, look at these screenshots.
Listen to Chris, man. Does that sound like a person that is doing okay currently? Does that sound like a man with his thoughts collected? Does that sound like a man that's even confident in his own narrative? Hell, he even deleted his video. I don't know. I just wanted to get all my thoughts onto paper.
I thought this was a really well put together video. I'm happy we checked it out. I'm also looking at my recording screen. Hopefully I did not lose a whole bunch of frames during this. This is my FPS keeps on going down. So hopefully it's not all butchering and stuff, man. But no, that was well put together. As I said, like, this is the type of thing I wanted to react to. Like, I wanted to see all sides of the thing. And Flight, to me, did not really come off as biased. He was giving his opinions based off the circumstance. So, yeah, very good stuff right here. That's all we got, man. Thank you all so much for watching. And peace out, my friends.